Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this video, I want to make something a bit different and I want to talk about Donald Trump and the impact that Donald Trump's tariffs could have on you if you're looking to buy a property in the UK, even if you're looking to rent a property in the UK. I think it's good to have a discussion about what's happening and what impact it could have. Now, what I want to ask you is in the comments, keep it kind, keep it polite. I know Donald Trump is a very divisive character. You're either for him massively or against him massively. There's not many people in the middle. But it is important to see the impact of what those tariffs might mean on interest rates, on house prices, on rents, and inflation as well, because this stuff really does matter. You might think America is a great big faraway land, but it impacts you and it impacts you in your daily life because we're such a global intertwined economy. So before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't ever watched a video on the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 37,000 subscribers now. And let's get some more views on this content and share this video with other people. How can you do that? Smash the share button, WhatsApp it, Facebook, email it to someone, and smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm and that will help the channel grow. So thanks to everyone that does that. So Donald Trump, like him or hate him, he's having an impact for sure. And so there's a lot of activity going on in America. It's really, really hard to keep up with it. But some of the stuff that he's doing will impact us all on a daily basis. And so basically Trump has suggested, and I know this is paused at the moment, but he's suggesting on Canada, 25% tariffs, on Mexico, 25% tariffs, on China, he has input already 10% tariffs. Now, this will have a big impact on a lot of products and services, and it will impact inflation as well. In fact, we import the UK more from America than we sell to them. So we need their products and services quite a lot, and this will make a big difference. Donald Trump has also said already that he's likely to tariff the EU. He's really got a bee in his bonnet about the EU. And potentially he could tariff Britain as well, even though we import more. So we're less likely to get tariffed. But all of this stuff will impact us because we import stuff from America, so from Europe as well, obviously. So basically what will happen is if America tariff the EU will tariff America back. Cost of goods in the EU will go up. When we import stuff, it will be more expensive, even though there won't be necessarily a tariff on that. That's going to impact yourself massively. So what's happening is the Bank of England is taking note on this. So yesterday, you're probably watching this on the weekend, but on Thursday this week, the Bank of England had their meeting and they did cut rates. They went from 4.75% down to 4.5%. They were expecting to cut 4 times in 2025, but they cited the fact that there's uncertainty around the world as one of the reasons why that might now not happen. They've also downgraded UK growth targets. We've gone from 1.5% GDP growth to 0.5% or 0.75%. Now, some of that is blamed on the budget, which didn't go down very well, but some of that is also blamed on the uncertainty of tariffs. Andrew Bailey was interviewed and talked about that if tariffs happen and there's a global trade war, economies are going to slow down at a rapid pace. This isn't going to be very good for anyone. They think that inflation will go up in America. Now, what would that mean for us? Now, we keep our interest rates fairly in line with the Federal Reserve in America. The Federal Reserve had their meeting last week. They talked about interest rates and they are saying that they're not looking to potentially cut as many times. They want to see how these tariffs play out in America. So if the Federal Reserve don't cut rates, then we're likely that we won't cut our rates too much either. We're likely to keep our interest rates fairly close to the Federal Reserve rather than keeping it near the European Union, which is 2.5%, I think, at the moment, or 2.75. It's a lot lower than what we have. So if these tariffs start to hit, the Chinese ones are already there. That is definitely going to happen. That's already there. Imported goods are already more expensive. I've had emails from American companies already saying things are going to get more expensive because they import some of their products from China. So that means inflation is likely to rise in America. That means the Federal Reserve is less likely to cut rates in America, and the American economy is likely to potentially slow down off that. That means that your mortgage rate is less likely to come down. That means that your rent is more likely to increase as landlords come off of fixed mortgages onto higher interest rates when they were expecting maybe this year rates to go down a little more. The whole world is impacted by these tariffs, and really the best case scenario is that they're removed. Now, Canada, I've read lots about that, and the discussion was that this was used as a negotiating tactic to get Canada to put more people on the border and to stop the fentanyl going from Canada into America. And that is what was agreed, and that stopped those tariffs happening. But if you look into it in more detail, Canada had already agreed to do exactly the same in December. They haven't given any more to America at all. If you look at the Mexican tariffs here, the Mexicans were asked to get more border patrol agents, and they agreed and said we'd get 10,000 extra border control agents there. Again, they'd already agreed that, so they just re-emphasized to Trump stuff that they'd already agreed to do, and that gave him his win in the media, politically, and that really is what it was. It was all just showmanship. Now, the markets, when the tariffs were announced, crashed. There was a big drop in a lot of shares, and some of them are still down now. If you look at car businesses in particular, because cars will have parts made in Mexico that then get extra bits done to them in Canada, then it moves across to America to get assembled fully. There's a lot of movement when you're making a car, and those costs and those would really cripple, and I think would make one of the major car companies go bankrupt if these tariffs happen. So this higher tariff would increase potentially interest rates if inflation went higher, but it would also mean that the government would struggle because the government right now needs interest rates to come down. So they would then need to go into austerity and cut public services in the UK. So higher tariffs, if America tariffs Canada or Mexico at any kind of rate, that will mean interest rates won't go down as quickly in the UK. Him hitting the government that has got huge borrowing at the moment really, really hard. So then what they've got is two choices. Cut back on public spending, which you don't want. You don't want the NHS to get cut back on. Or increase your taxes, which you don't want either. It's not a great scenario. This will slow down things massively. Now, what would that do to the housing market? It would slow it down as well. The housing market would be impacted by rates staying high for longer. We've got stamp duty hitting the housing market in April. Most of the momentum going forward for 2025 and to get the market moving is going to be down to interest rates dropping. If they don't, or it's slower, the market will slow down massively, and we could have a property market like 2023, which while house prices were not really up or down, a little bit down, it was a very, very slow market. So yeah, it's not great. There's lots that you've got to keep an eye on. It's not about whether you like Donald Trump or not. It's about the fact that if these tariffs happen, it's not good for anybody. Let me know what you think. Do you think tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China make an impact on the UK economy? I believe that they do. Others do as well. And I think it's going to have a big impact on interest rates and the potential for dropping them later this year. The Bank of England have said it themselves this week. So do comment below, do smash like, do subscribe. Keep the comments kind, please, guys. And check out all the other content on my channel as well, including this video right here.